everybody, this is Timbioto coming at you with another Transformers third-party review. This time we have TFC Toys Ares Nemean, which we all know this guy is a Predacon Razor Claw, which ends up forming the middle portion of Predaking. And as we've kind of figured out, TFC Toys likes to name their combiners after different kind of Greek mythology characters, like Hercules for Devastator, Uranos, which was a primal Greek god, the father of the Titans personifying the sky. So in this they gave Predaking the name Ares, which was the god of war, and then Razor Claw they named Nemean from the first labor of Hercules, which was said to have golden fur that was impervious to mortal weapons, and its claws were stronger than swords and could cut through any armor. So I'm kind of interested in what they're going to name the other four guys in this series. They seem to be going a lot towards Greek mythologies. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of those, but let's get on to the box real quick and then get to the figure. The box is actually pretty simple. It's black and reds, which we have the Ares line name here with actually the robot's name in it, and on the side right here it's 01. And then we get a picture of him in his lion mode, and then inside this giant window we can actually see him in almost his full robot mode, along with his sword and his two guns. And then right behind here is his tail. And then on the side we get him in his robot mode. And on the back we get the three forms. Him and his lion, his robot, and his combined form. Then another up close picture of him in his robot mode. And on the top just his name, along with his number, being that he's the first release in the Ares series, and then just some warning labels on the bottom. So let's get this guy open and check him out. Alright, and here's Nemean out of the box and in his lion mode. And along with the figure inside the box, you're going to get a stat card, which has a picture on one side and then his stats on the other side. And you get his instructions sheet, which on one side shows him how to transform him into his beast mode. Then it kind of continues on this side, and then his combiner mode. And then he comes with a little mini poster and his sword and some little extra bits to fill in some of the screw holes. Two of these are actually go on his face. This right here, this little panel, goes right here. This little orange piece goes right here, and then these two little gray bits go on his back right here, because those actual screw holes right here and right here will actually be viewable from his combined mode. But unfortunately, it looks like they're kind of doing away with maybe the whole wireframe thing on the inside of the box. You can't. There, yeah, you can't. There you can. You can see it. It says his name right here with a 01. Let me get this guy out of the way so you can see the whole thing. But yeah, they don't have the wireframe picture in there anymore. I guess maybe they're trying to cut back or something on them. It seemed like the box for this guy was a little bit kind of simplistic, or didn't have as much detail on it as Hercules or Uranos. But to kind of give a size comparison, since he is going to be the middle portion of Ares, here is Blackbird from Uranos, and as you can see, he is a massive lion, very large. Let me show him off real quick and give you a quick 360 degree of him. I am going to fair warn you, there are going to be a couple of nitpicks in this thing. I know that I've had some comments about people complaining, saying that, you know, I'm complaining about the figures and that I should feel lucky that I have these. I agree with one of my defenders, or one of the posters on there. I feel that with the price point of these things, I personally have the right to nitpick these things. And, you know, I want you guys to be informed about what you're buying before you get it, because I know a lot of people watch these videos and that'll make or break somebody from determining whether they want to buy this or not. You know, there are 2 or 3 extra versions of this guy coming out. You know, I know I'm not buying the other 2. I can't afford to buy and have 3 Predikings. It's just way too many. I went ahead and went with these guys because I have Hercules and Uranus. Originally I was going to go with Mastermind Creations, but whenever I found out that TFC Toys was going to make one, I decided, yeah, that's the one that I'm going to buy. If you want closer to G1 accurate one, you're going to go with the Unique Toys one. If you love that sword, then you should go with the Mastermind Creations. I know a lot of people have liked their past releases on some of the other toys, and this is going to be their first binder. I wanted to kind of keep with the scale and to keep with a brand that I already know and trust. With that, let me go ahead and show you this guy off real quick. Something that I want to kind of point out with this is that I really wish they would have made this tail a plug-in instead of just a notch right here, because sometimes you can plug in this tail and just barely tapping it, it'll cause it to fall like that. So really got to push it up like that, and most of the time it'll hold up there. Sometimes it kind of wants to fall down. So he looks pretty nice in the lion mode, except for this portion right here kind of gives him a little bit of a hunch in the back region. But his mouth does open, and got some nice little silver teeth in there, and it opens about that wide. I think you can get a little bit more, but that's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be about it right there. And close that up, and then I think that this portion right here was supposed to be light piping for these eyes. It doesn't really work too well. I've held a light up above it and tried to see if it actually lights the eyes. I don't know if it's actually just light leaking through and getting to the eyes. But alright, so to transform him from the lion to his robot mode, I'm just going to go ahead and take these rocket launchers off, or these little laser cannons off. They can't extend, and you can keep them on there and have them extended. It's kind of up to you. And whenever I have them in his lion mode, I like to tab them into that first tab right there. So, but kind of first thing, we'll work on the feet a little bit. I'm going to rotate those down like so. That, straighten out the legs, and then take that portion, flip that out, and then rotate it around. Flip that out, rotate that around. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take, oh man, messed up on the transformation. This is actually supposed to be up here on the top whenever he's in lion mode, and I actually forgot that. So take that and then drop that back down to here. And then pull out his tail because it keeps falling down. And then what we'll do is take these black pieces. These black pieces actually slide. And just take them and slide it down over his leg pieces. And I haven't been able to get it to click anywhere, so I just slide it down as far as I can. I really wish it had a click in it, but you're going to take this portion, flip it up, flip it around, and we'll do that with this side also. What you do, you collapsed. I find it best to kind of straighten the legs and then go like that. Take that panel, flip it up like that, and then you want to straighten out that portion and straighten out that. And for some reason on mine, this doesn't actually ratchet. You can feel the ratchet, but just barely. And this one actually ratchets. And then very strong ratchets in this portion right here. on his hips. Just they were getting a lot of complaints with the hips on Uranus, that they were actually really weak, so I think that's why they put some strong ones in there again. I think maybe they got a little gun shy because of what happened with Hercules. I don't think the problem was actually in with how strong the ratchets were. I think it was just that they didn't grease the ratchets. Alright, so flip that portion down, and so we have the lower half kind of already done. And then we're going to take the spinal piece. The spinal piece actually kind of tabs into right here on the back, so you just take that, pull that up, and then you can drop that down. And you can get it to kind of tab in, but it doesn't hold. It very easily just comes right back up. So move that up. I'm going to take the arms, ratchet them down. And then you're going to take and rotate around the arms. Flip in the claws, flip that around like that, and then you're going to grab this and just pull very, very hard. Jeez. Alright. See, that came undone again. There he goes. And the same thing with the other side. Rotate it around. And I'm going to go ahead and pull on this. Alright. Flipping the claw. Flip that around, like so. And see how that easily just pops out? And that's one of my little nitpicks right there. That's a nitpick. This is a nitpick because it slides real easy. And so that, and then what you want to do is take and just grab right here and flip that up. You can flip out the fist and then just push it back right back in. Do that for the other side. And then you're going to take the lion head, and it actually tabs into the back of the robot head, so you just want to untab that by pulling it forward and going like that. And it actually doesn't tab into anywhere on the chest, so that's another thing that I wish that it would have done. Alright, now these things are really a pain in the butt. This isn't a pain in the butt. You just take that, slide that down like that. These little shoulder pads. Best way that I can do this is just to undo the arms. The arms are on like two joints. There's a joint right here and then a joint right here. And mainly it's for arm posing and stuff like that. But the best way that I can get a hold of them is to pull these shoulders apart. And then these little panels right here are on two joints, and they are very, very tight. And you want to take and you want to turn it like that, so that they're sloping from sloping outward to sloping inwards. Alright, so that's one. And you want to be careful because these edges are very sharp. And just rotate around the head. Like I said, the edges are really sharp. And if you want to, you can leave the shoulders in, or you can pull them out just a little bit. It's totally up to you. I like to leave him in like that and then just fold out his arms. Then you can take his tail, and you can either use it as like a little whip kind of thing, or if you wanted to store it in the back, you can actually put it right here and then just kind of fold it down like that, and then you have it stored on the back. You don't have to have it in the box for the whole time or whatever. You don't have to store it in your box or whatever. Alright, so for him in robot mode, I like to tab him in right here, and then in lion mode I like to tab him right there. So yeah, it's totally up to you. You can tab them on the inside, but they do catch on these little shoulder things, so that's why I tend to tab them on the outside part. And then really it's up to you how you want to position them. I like to have them over the shoulder like that. I know some people, they like to have them like that. It's just totally up to you and what your preference is. But like I said, I like to have them like that, like they're shoulder mounted cannons. And then once you have that done, then you can take his sword, and actually I think this is going to be the sword for when he's in combined mode because of just the way that the handle is made. But you take the handle, split it, and then tab it into the sword, and then voila, he has a sword. Alright, and let me bring in SR-71 for a size comparison. And as you can see, he is much taller than SR-71. Yeah, taking a look at him, he is way over a head taller than this guy. Alright, so let me give you a quick 360 degrees, show him off, and all his nice little paint apps and everything. Very nice little deep reds, nice golds, very bright yellows and oranges. The sword is very, very thick. It's actually two pieces molded together, but it's pretty heavy and it feels very solid. The only parts that I would say be careful about are take this out of his hand, are these hinges right here. I would say be careful with those just because they look a little thin, and the first few times that you actually put these into, because you can see the stress marks, but the first few times that you put this in here, it's actually really tough, so you have to provide a lot of force in there. And he does have some nice light piping up here. In his head and stuff. It does come through there pretty well. As for the guns, you can extend them or you can keep them like they are. It's totally up to you and what your preferences are. But as for articulation, he has pretty much standard articulation. He has his head is on a ball joint, so you can go left and right. You can get, actually, is that on a ball joint or is that just on a hinge? I can't really tell. I think it's just on a hinge. It's just a rotating joint. So it can turn left and right, but it doesn't look like it can go up and down or anything like that. His arms are on two joints, so the best you can see him best from behind. So there's one joint right here, and then there's a joint so that you can turn it like that. And another thing about this guy, he has oil all over him, or in his shoulders, and then he has oil up in here. I just guess just to keep him lubricated so that the ratchets don't break off or anything like that. So I know when I first got him, I was touching him and I was leaving little oily fingerprints all over the place. Does have a ratchet joint in his elbows. Some of them are a little bit stronger than others. You can hear some of them click, like this one you can feel it a little bit more than this one. Wrist has a swivel. He has a cut up here at the top at his bicep. Then he does have a swivel here at his waist, but you have to pull this part forward to actually get it to no, he does. Wait up. He has two swivels. So he has a swivel here, but then he has he has a swivel underneath here, but you have to pull that up. So his legs, he has two joints. One joint so that you can make it go out, and that's on a very strong ratchet. And then he has another joint that will go out like this, and you can still go forward and you can go backwards on that one. Then he has ratcheting knee joints, and he can get about a 90-degree out of that. Then his for his feet, he has a ball joint connected to the foot, and then there's a hinge right here just to move it around, but that's not really, I don't think I would really consider that a part of his articulation, but you can use it if you need it for any kind of stance. His foot is on a joint, and this part is on a joint also. So, and like I said, these things kind of bug me that those slide like that and don't connect or don't lock into place. But I will go ahead and switch them into combiner mode real quick. I'm not going to focus on the transformation. I'll make a combined video and I'll show step by step on how to do each portion and the body. But I just wanted to go ahead and transform him into that so you can actually see Predaking's head. I want to go ahead and show that off for you. Alright, so here he is in his combined mode. The connector ports are exactly the same as Hercules or Uranus, so those pieces are interconnectable. You can, if you wanted to, you can mix and match or whatever. Main reason I wanted to get him into this form because I wanted to show you off the head. Personally, I like the head. I think they did a better job than Uranus. There were a couple things about the Uranus head that I didn't really care for, but he does have a lot of light piping up in there. You can see that it actually comes through a little bit on this portion right here and in his visor. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this review. Don't forget to subscribe, like me on Facebook. This has been Tambiota, and I'll see you next time.